state by state. Some of them have made significant progress in terms of increasing pay, having better working conditions, but also just getting the equipment they need, the things that they need in the classroom to get things done. And I can give you a first-person perspective here. With me is David Freeland. He is a math teacher, a high school math teacher in St. Lucie, Florida. And he's also president of the Classroom Teachers Association in that area. So let me ask you, first of all, just a broad question. How are teachers treated in the U.S. compared to the importance of their jobs?
They're treated, well, I'd say below where they should be treated for the importance of the job that they do. That's not just pay, which is sort of the thing everybody talks about, it's also how the profession is respected, our voice in how the profession is run and what we do in the classroom. A lot of the anger comes, again, not just from pay, but it's easy to be paid less than you really probably should be making if at least the work you do is respected, and it's not respected here.
I don't think a lot of people don't understand around the world that a lot of teachers like you here in the U.S. at public schools supply some of the school equipment out of their own funds.
We, here in Florida, we get, classroom teachers get a small stipend from the state every year, but it doesn't come anywhere near covering the expenses that most teachers spend in their classroom. It can be several $1,000s in some cases. Even just basic supplies like pencils.
And that's money out of your pocket,
that's
buying
money
pencils,
out of our pockets.
papers, whatever.
Correct, that's money out of our pockets.
And we've been talking about teachers taking actions across the nation, striking, but in Florida, it's a state where you can't strike, right?
That's correct, we can't strike. It's both in our Constitution and it's in legislation. It would be irresponsible actually for union leaders to suggest a strike. Our members would lose their pension. That's the first thing they would lose. Their certificates can be sanctioned. They can be fired. They take it very seriously in Florida.
What has been happening across the U.S.? In state after state, we've seen teachers protest, seek greater salaries. What do you see happening? Is this a trend? Is it a revolution? What is this?
Well, right now I call it a trend. Hopefully it will continue to become a revolution. We've seen really 2 decades of cuts to public education. And not for the betterment of our students, which is really why teachers are upset, because it always boils down to students and what's good for our students, and that's not what's happening in most places in the nation right now.
So teachers have made some progress when it comes to pay. There have been increases in some states, but by and large, they're not keeping up with the rate of inflation. What happens now after this meeting? Obviously, this meeting is here to decide where teachers go from here and what strategy they use, but what do you see happening?
Well, it's interesting. First of all, in the United States, again, it really depends on the laws in each state. There's states where you can strike, states where, like Florida, where you can't. And so the local strategies are different. So, for instance, our strategy is, short term, we're trying to generate more members, more activism. The long-term goal is to replace legislators with legislators who are education-friendly and understand the importance of unions to working people.
All right, thank you. That's David Freeland from St. Lucie, Florida. He's a math teacher, and you heard him there say that one of the things they're looking to do long-term is to replace the legislators statewide, and I'm guessing nationally as well, who make the decisions about teachers. We'll hear more about that as the day wears on.
All right, John Hedren with an update from Minneapolis. Thank you. And now we'll take you to Thailand because